If you were to sell your condo and could save $15,000 or $20,000 or more by selling it yourself with some extra effort, would you do it? It's not easy, but if you want to give it a try, I can show you how. Hello, and welcome to the All About Condos channel, your go-to source for all things condo related. Brought to you by Igbins International Realty. My name is Octavio Rueda, your host and condo consultant, here to guide you effortlessly through the challenges of buying, owning, and selling a condo. In this video, I'll guide you through the process of selling your condo and help you navigate one of the biggest obstacles, the condo association's purchase approval process. You're already familiar with the process, having already gone through it when you bought your condo, so you know what to expect. As a real estate broker and condo association manager who has processed hundreds of purchase applications, I have a unique perspective on the process, which I will share with you in this tutorial video. Note that I prefer not to duplicate what's already been done, which is why I'm producing this video. I found that while there are many videos and articles on the internet about the overall process of selling a single-family home, there's a noticeable gap when it comes to the specific topic I'm discussing here. The available online resources offer useful tips and recommendations on vital aspects of the selling process, such as listing, marketing, sale negotiations, contractual offers and acceptance, all well explained. For those interested in the broader topic of for sale by owners, I've shared links to a few videos and blogs in the description below, which provide interesting information about the subject. So after this video, explore those links for information on the topics not covered here. Although dealing with the approval process and the condo association, let's start by discussing a couple of things that you as the seller can expect to be required of you and what you can anticipate the association to request of the prospective buyer in consideration of granting the approval for the purchase. Although every association may have different requirements, there are some common expectations that nearly all associations have for prospective buyers. These are what I call universal requirements for purchasing a unit. First, let's go over the key requirements you need to be aware of. No for sale signs. Condo associations do not allow for sale signs on windows or balconies. Check the association's rules and regulations to confirm. Be in good standing. As the seller, you must be up to date on your maintenance fees and not have any pending violations, such as unapproved changes or modifications to the unit. If there's an outstanding balance on the unit account, arrangements can be made with the association to approve the sale subject to the total balance due being paid at closing. Be subject to board approval, especially the purchase or transfer of ownership of a unit. The sale cannot close without a signed certificate of approval from the board of directors. In Florida, the county property registers requires a copy of the certificate of approval to record the property's deed in the public record. The right of first refusal, particularly in Florida. This right is granted in the declarations of many condo associations. It gives the board of directors the option to take the place of any prospective buyer in the sale of any unit within the association. If stated in the declaration, the board of directors will always have the right of first refusal when a unit is up for sale. The unit owner must notify the board of their intent to sell the unit. The board then has the choice to either exercise the option or waive the right to do so. For example, if the board decides to waive the right, the sale proceeds normally. However, if the board decides to exercise its right of first refusal, the board of directors, on behalf of the condo association, takes the place of the buyer in the sale transaction. Everything else in the contract remains the same, including the sale price. I recommend checking the condo declaration or calling the management office to see if the association has a right of first refusal. It's not common for a condo association to exercise its right, but it's worth noting because it can happen. I manage an association that exercised its right of first refusal twice over a 5-year period. It's beneficial to know in advance what conditions a prospective buyer is required to meet, as the information can be used in the advertising of the property and listing information to help screen potential buyers. Let's consider a few. Stable employment. Expect prospective buyers to have stable, verifiable employment. They may need to provide an employment letter or, if self-employed, corresponding supporting documents like tax filing information. Sufficient income. Expect buyers to have stable, verifiable income sufficient to cover expected housing expenses. Common verification documents include recent pay stubs or W-2 salary income statements. No adverse information. Buyers should not have any adverse information in their personal record verified by a background check. Good credit. Buyers must be creditworthy, although each association sets its own standard for credit scores. Conformity with condo docs. Buyers should intend to use the property within the parameters and guidelines that conform with the condominium documents. If the association has specific restrictions, the buyers should comply. So it's critical to know any restrictions that could prevent the approval of an application. That being said, I strongly suggest you review your condo documents and familiarize yourself with the bylaws and rules and regulations. Knowing and understanding the condo documents is a critical part of making the most of your condo ownership experience. Therefore, I recommend you watch my 2 tutorial videos on the topic of condominium documents. I think you'll find them very informative and valuable. So, now that you have an idea of what the association may expect from you and the prospective buyer in the purchase approval process, the next step is to contact the management office as soon as possible about the sale and get a copy of the declaration if you don't already have it. And here are some pointers to help you make the process go smoothly. Request a purchase application package. Even if you recently purchased a unit and the application package has not changed, it's better to be proactive. Request a copy of the application package to review and familiarize yourself with and give it to the prospective buyer. Ask about the application screening process, how to submit the application package, whether digital applications are accepted, the fee, how to pay it, who reviews the application, does the board or management, and any major ownership restrictions. Confirm the total processing time, including any interviews. Ask about the most important requirements for approval, in addition to the universal ones I mentioned earlier. For example, recently established corporations, LLCs, and recent changes of title not directly approved by the association, such as transfers done by quitclaim deed, may result in procedural delays. It's good to inquire about those. Ask about the estoppel letter. Who prepares it? How much does it cost? And how long does it take to obtain? In Florida, the statutory fee for the estoppel letter is $250 and is charged to the seller at closing. Also, get as much information as you can about from management about the changes taking place in the building or the condo association that you may not be aware of. Whenever possible, communicate with management in writing and save it for future reference if necessary. Obtain a copy of the most recent annual budget and, if applicable, the reserve budget. All condo associations must have an annual budget, but in some states, not all condo associations are required to have a reserve. Check your state's condo law, as laws do change. For example, in Florida, although condo laws required associations to have a reserve, most did not fund it. However, as of May 26, 2022, associations with 3 or more floors are mandated to fully fund their reserve. Most lenders will not grant a mortgage to buy a unit in a condominium without reserves. Get copies of the most recent financial reports, such as the income statement and balance sheet, which reflect the financial health of the condo association. And while you're at it, request a copy of your current account ledger to confirm that your unit is current with maintenance fees and has no unresolved violations or unpaid fines. Depending on the state where the condo you're selling is located, there may be several documents needed when you sign a contract with a buyer. Do the research or contact a local real estate agent or attorney to find out what the required documents are. Be proactive and start obtaining these documents in advance. In Florida, the law mandates that certain documents be submitted to the buyer along with the executed contract. This includes a copy of the condo declaration, condo association disclosure, seller's property disclosure, frequently asked questions, and the governance forms. More recently, a new law called the Building Safety Act was passed on May 26, 2022, establishing additional pre-sale disclosure requirements for both seller and the Condo Association. I encourage Florida condo owners to stay up to date with any changes to these new disclosure requirements. Contacting a local real estate agent or visiting our website at www.igbins.com is a good way to do so. We're more than happy to provide you with any information you need. Additionally, we offer sample copies of the documents previously mentioned available for visitors to download and review. Now that you've completed all your pre-sale due diligence and gathered the necessary information and documentation, you're ready to announce that your condo is for sale. At this stage of the process, some of the essential procedures for selling your condo yourself include researching local real estate trends to understand the market, pricing your condo appropriately to attract buyers, and preparing it for sale. This preparation may involve staging tips for an attractive presentation, carrying out necessary repairs and improvements, and utilizing professional quality photographs and videos. The next steps involve writing compelling listings, advertising on online platforms, as well as traditional media, and hosting open houses. Finally, you'll need to develop negotiation strategies which include tips for handling inquiries and showings, negotiating effectively, and managing multiple offers to ensure a successful sale. As I said in my intro, there's a lot of well-presented information on these procedures and numerous videos and online articles that you can easily find on the internet. For your convenience, I've provided a few links to some resources that I found well done and offering pertinent and useful information on selling single-family homes, which also apply directly to selling a condo. After you've completed the procedures in preparation for the sale, you can then start showing the condo to prospective buyers who have been pre-approved for a mortgage. Preferably, these buyers should be ones whom the lenders use the desktop underwriting to quickly review the borrower's financial qualifications and decide on their loan terms. At this point, you'll need to deal with the mortgage broker or the lender who issued the pre-approved letter or desktop underwriting approval. Once you've shown the condo, hired an attorney to review the purchase contract, and are ready to accept an offer, you can move on to the next steps. While reviewing the offers, I suggest pre-screening the buyer's potential for getting approved by the association. You can do this by providing a copy of the purchase application package, including the instructions, and asking them to review the application. Encourage them to let you know if there's anything within the application or the process that they may have issues with, so that there are no surprises. Let the prospective buyers know about the most important requirements in the application process, such as the required credit score, the tax returns, the reference letters, and proof of employment. Confirm that the buyers can meet these requirements and provide the necessary documentation. You may also want to ask for a copy of their credit report and inquire if there's any derogatory information in their background that would need to be disclosed. Ask who will be living in the unit, whether there be any pets, how many vehicles they have, and if any of the vehicles are commercial. After reviewing all the potential offers, accept the best one, sign the contract, and submit it to the buyer along with all the required documents. If stipulated in the contract, be sure to provide a copy of the condo declaration to the buyer, especially if the condo you're selling is in Florida. This is crucial, as a buyer can terminate a contract if the seller does not provide a copy of the condo declaration within 3 days of signing the contract. Once the contract has been executed, the ball is in the buyer's court. The clock starts ticking, and the buyer begins their contractual due diligence, including submitting a completed application package to the Condo Association for approval. In this phase of the process, you need to work closely with the buyer or the buyer's agent. Share your condo application, screening, and interview experience with the buyer, and ask them to inform you when the application package and fee have been submitted to the Condo Association. The screening process doesn't start until a complete package is submitted and the fee is paid. Ask the buyer for a copy of the application package for review and ensure that it was completed correctly with all required documentation submitted, such as tax returns, proof of employment, and reference letters. Highlight or flag any information that might cause a delay in the process based on what you learned from the management office. Keep in mind that even if the buyer is working with a real estate agent, Most agents don't get themselves involved in the process, so delays are likely if the package isn't handled properly. Request the buyer keep you updated on their progress and include you in all communications with management. If a buyer is out of state and an interview is needed, confirm whether a virtual or phone interview can be done. If the buyer is an investor, check if the prospective agent or a unit manager can be interviewed instead. Based on the information from your initial contact with management and your inquiries, monitor the application process and note the expected or estimated date for the interview or orientation meeting. As you may know, the interview is the final step in the application process, and it's crucial to obtain the board's certificate of approval to finalize the sale. The certificate of approval is commonly issued to a buyer upon conclusion of the interview if required, or shortly thereafter. Follow up with the buyer after the screening interview to ensure that everything went smoothly. The buyer should then submit the certificate of approval to their title company or attorney. Assuming the buyer has fulfilled all the contractual obligations, you're on your way to closing the sale. From the seller's perspective, there are essential documents needed for the closing, such as the Condo estoppel letter and the bank payoff letter if applicable. It's common for sale contracts to include the requirement of other documents like closing any open building permits with local municipalities. Work closely with the escrow and title company to make sure all the documentation is in order and ready for closing. If everything is in place, the escrow agent will confirm the date, time, and location of the closing. On that day, the buyer will conduct a final walkthrough of the unit with their realtor, and if all is well, both parties will proceed to close the sale and transfer the ownership. Once you close on the sale of the unit, you can breathe a sign of relief knowing that all is well that ends well. But before we conclude, it's wise to prepare for the potential challenges that may arise with the approval process. In the next few minutes, I'll share some insights on how to handle issues that you may encounter with the condo association, such as delays or even worse, the denial of the application. If for whatever reasons the buyer's application is delayed, obtain the reason in writing by contacting the management office, preferably through email. Avoid accepting verbal explanations. Once you understand the reasons for the delay, ask for an estimated resolution time. Check the declaration of condominium to see if the board of directors or the management has the authority to postpone the process for the reasons stated. If they don't have this authority, address the issue in writing, being polite yet assertive. In the case of an outright denial, again, reach out to the management office for a copy of the denial letter. Check the declaration of condominium for the authority to deny the application on the cited grounds, and consult with the buyer about the next steps. Keep in mind that contractually, the sale depends on the buyer's approval by the condo association, and you're not obligated to proceed with the sale. If you want to pursue the sale with the same buyer, ascertain the specific denial reasons referring to the exact location in the declaration of condominium where the denial authority is granted. If this information isn't included in the denial letter, request the denial information from the management office or the board of directors. Verify in the declaration of condominium that the board's conditions for denial align with the condo documents. Should the prospective buyer's application meet the denial conditions, take time to assess the situation. Consider your alternatives, such as having another buyer or the time it may take to sell to someone else. Some declarations may require the board to buy the unit or locate a willing buyer at the same price, so be aware of these provisions. If you decide to escalate the matter, follow these guidelines. Document everything and maintain meticulous records. Formally draft your complaint and send it to the management office or the board of directors if possible. Request a meeting with a manager or a board member. If the issue remains unresolved, think about seeking legal advice or filing a complaint with the corresponding government institution overseeing condo matters in your state. In Florida, this would be the Department of Business and Professional Regulations, the DBPR. I hope these challenges don't hinder your sale, but it's essential to understand how to navigate potential issues. With experience as a real estate broker and a condo manager, I've seen both sides of these challenges, and these guidelines should help you manage them effectively. And there you have it. You've made it to the end of this comprehensive guide on how to sell your condo yourself. By now, you've armed yourself with the knowledge, insights, and tools needed to take control of the selling process. In conclusion, selling your condo yourself is not only achievable, but can also result in significant savings. With the information provided in this tutorial, you have a clear roadmap to success. The key lies in preparation, due diligence, and understanding the unique process of selling a condo. If ever in doubt, refer back to this guide and don't hesitate to seek professional advice if you need it. Thank you for joining me in this journey through the intricacies of selling your condo. For more insights, tips, and resources, check out the links in the description section below. I'm confident that with the insights you've gained and the additional tips and resources, you'll navigate the process with confidence and maximize your profits. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, or subscribe to the All About Condos channel. Your feedback is valuable to us, so please drop us an email or leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, and we'll do our best to respond or assist you. Thank you once again for watching, and God bless.